Hello. I'm your host with the moster, Dusty O'Connell. After the record-breaking popularity of last week's show, I thought it would be important for me to provide you, our dedicated listenership, an exciting programming update. And also that it might be fun for me to read you an amazing story sent to us by recurring donor Ian Pauley, and then to give you all perhaps a glimpse into the actual background and machinations of the show, so everyone who's been so excited about Norse code could get a sense of what happens behind the scenes. That's right. We usually reserve the clip shows for Christmas, but Christmas has officially come early, and officially coincides with week 1. So here are your gifts, boys and girls. First, starting this week, Norse Code will air twice a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesday will be a game recap. Wednesday will be a game preview. The features you've come to know, be confused by, and occasionally love will continue to appear as warranted. Klinsmann or Korea will not be featured this season. Mailbags will be summoned for both episodes, and you can present questions at any time to norsecodepodcast@gmail.com or at norsecodedn on Twitter. If you'd like to contribute a few dollars towards keeping the lights on here at the show, then you can do so at either patreon.com/norsecode if you'd like to become a recurring contributor, or paypal.me/norsecode if you'd like to contribute once in any dollar amount you'd like. To that end, here's a listener email from the aforementioned Ian Pauley, which, by the way, Ian, thank you so much. Anyway, Ian writes, story time about the wildcard loss. After such a terrific 11-5 campaign, we decided to have a small get-together here in northern Illinois to watch the Vikings likely walk into the same buzzsaw they met in Week 13. Who cares, though, right? We made it back to the playoffs and knocked the Packers off their throne for the division title. I would, however, be lying if I said I wasn't getting my hopes up. I'm a Vikings fan, and the whole quote-unquote endless optimism flaw kind of defines us. I'll spare you any more of the trivial background information and just fast forward to kickoff. I suppose I don't need to tell you how much of a dogfight this game was, as you guys all watched it too. Still, from an old-school football standpoint, what more could you ask for but a bitter cold defensive battle? Now here's where the story gets interesting. The drive before we notched our first 3 points, a buddy of mine, who's a Bears fan, mind you, turns to me and confidently asserts, Walsh field goal on this drive. I was doubtful, due to the conditions. But sure enough, the drive and subsequently the quarter ended with a lone 3 in our box score. Big deal. Predicting a field goal isn't exactly prophetic. Moving past the tense yet scoreless second quarter, we find the game at halftime. After getting another drink, I go back to sit down and check Twitter for reports and thoughts on the game. Before I knew it, it was about time to start the second half. Right before the kick, my buddy, once again, boasts a confident prediction. It'll be 9-0 at the end of the quarter. I honestly thought if that would happen, it would end up coming away with a pick 6 and a missed point after. Yet when the third quarter came to a close, 2 more Walsh hits found their way onto the scoreboard. I won't lie, I honestly felt a bit worried when he didn't make another prediction leading into the fourth quarter. I felt even more worried when I started seeing miscues unfold on the screen. You know, Munnerlin's over pursuit of the ball, AD's fumble, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. So now we find our favorite squad down a sole point. Time was starting to wane, but Teddy was mounting an improbable drive, and it looked like there might actually be a light at the end of the tunnel after all. About this time was when my heart sunk the first time. No, the dreaded kick had not happened yet. Instead, my buddy says to me much less confidently, "Hey, I have another prediction for you, but first I need to ask you something." I knew I didn't want to ask, but without realizing it, the words forming, "What do you need?" escaped my mouth. I need about $350. It was around this time that I realized my buddy was 8 stories tall and a crustacean from the Paleozoic era. That damn Loch Ness monster had gotten me again. I said, "Damn it, monster, I ain't giving you no $350." Blair Walsh missed, And the off-season was upon us again. Damn, Monster. He's a damn Bears fan. And on that note, let us enjoy 16 minutes of Norse code outtakes. If your children are listening, or you're listening at the office, please be warned that the following clips are not, repeat, not, safe for work. For James and Arif, my name is Dusty, and on behalf of all of us here at Norse Code, thank you so much for your ongoing support of Norse Code, still the #1 podcast for your Minnesota Vikings. Now, on to the clips. Ah, son of a bitch. Ow.
Okay. Are you bleeding?
I've been shot in the head.
Oh. I feel like calling 911 for something happening in Boulder? Question mark?
Denver. And no, it was probably a cop, so that wouldn't help. No, I
was going to say it wouldn't help for me to call 911 and then be like, yeah, my friend in Denver's been shot. No, I don't know where he lives.
I don't know where he is. I just know that he's in horrible pain. No, the power cable came out of my laptop.
I mean, that's bad and sucks, but also is very funny in context. Also, did I tell you about the time my power cable caught on fire?
No.
It was a couple laptops ago, but yeah, well, I mean, it was just it got frayed exactly where these laptop cords tend to get frayed in the middle of the bulky AC adapter in the middle of the cord, and there's not really much of a story here except the only reason I noticed anything is because the power cut off to my laptop and the screen darkened automatically to save power, and I was really pissed, and so looked around and it was smoking. And a small part of the actual thing, like the rubber, was catching fire, and I saw the sparks. So, like a not dumb person, I unplugged it before doing anything else. Thank God. Glad I didn't rush to get water or anything like that.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself in that crisis situation.
That's impressive. Like, it could have been worse. You could have just fled the room and been like, "I can't deal," and then
yeah, I just noped right out of there like a millennial.
Nope. Yeah. Well, luckily that's not how we roll.
Whatever you're comfortable with, if you see value or if you hear value in our show, please feel free to donate. So, shilling aside, the Vikings fired the offensive coordinator. No. God fucking damn it, Dusty.
Breaking a Norse code on a podcast that we're not going to release until tomorrow morning. North Turner fired.
3, 2, 1.
Well, grade deflation for the C's, grade inflation for the B's. And I think we're good because there are no D's. So there's definitely grade inflation.
No,
there's only one A, so there's grade deflation.
There's a D.
There's one D. Well, there's two if you include trades, right?
Yes, and there's no F's.
I gotta get out of here.
Well, okay then.
So that was on your end?
Yeah, a tab started playing sound.
Was that recorded?
Stupid tabs under playing music.
More like an infinite percent more Vikings.
I mean, but there's only 100% Vikings.
But there is 100% Vikings, but 100% more is definitely a phrase that implies double the amount of Vikings.
Like twice as much Viking?
Right.
I mean, not with infinitely more Vikings, but that that just makes me think of a stadium where more Vikings players just keep coming out,
keep streaming out.
like a swarm of locusts, and they just eat all the food and fumble all the footballs that have ever existed. Till pretty soon it's just all Vikings. It's like the dystopian young adult science fiction novels where mechanical ants take over all the land.
Yeah.
And like humans can no longer go outside, except this time it's Vikings.
this time the dystopia is Vikings, and
that would actually be the most Vikings ending to Sunday's game.
That they create a dystopia with which a young adult novel can take place.
It signals the beginning of the end of the world, preventing the singularity, and instead leading to a harsh and barren landscape populated only by Vikings.
I remember the before time when the sky area wasn't populated by infinite Adrian Petersons.
There was a time when not all children were hit with switches.
But rebel we must.
They shall batter us about our testicles no more. Oh, that's phenomenal. No,
it's going in the Christmas show next year.
Yeah, I know. I was like, great. Now we have a post-show clip. It was funny. As you were mocking me for my puppy love, I had myself on mute because Todd came in to bring me a cocktail. See, made one for himself. He was just like, here, and I was like, oh. So yes, you fuck. You're right.
The best part is when I was recording with James, a very similar scene happened with my brother, but instead of a cocktail, it was just 2 fried pieces of ham. I was like,
aww.
And Rashad came in and he's like, here's some ham. And he just left. And I was like, oh, holy shit, yes, ham.
That is a very Arshad brand of love.
Yeah, right.
That is how you can tell that he truly cares about it. He's like, oh, and I can just see him like sitting in his like little living room thinking like, oh, I know Reef's busy, but he could probably use some ham.
Right. Well, I definitely appreciated it.
As he knew you would. All right, I'm going to send this along to James and go put on some glow sticks. I'm not a big fan of this cheap Chinese microphone. It's very, very finicky.
Wow, racist much?
Look, the microphone, the model number of the microphone is BM800, and I agree.
That took me a second. I enjoy that.
I had it like just a little too high for like the middle part of the episode, and it was like messing with the. Like that was just me like kind of moving my mouth just like a little bit around the front of the microphone, and you could hear like how different it sounded. And I was just like, why are my levels so fucked up? And then I moved my mic down a tiny bit, and all of a sudden I was really loud again. So not my favorite thing that James has ever bought me. Although it does have a very nice like gold sheen to it. So I can at least feel like Rush Limbaugh as I'm spouting half-baked Tim Tebow takes.
Hooray. That's what you were really going after.
Half-baked takes?
Well, feeling like Rush Limbaugh.
I mean, I'd rather be Alex Jones if I had a choice.
I mean, he doesn't have a painkiller addiction, right? So,
I mean,
it's got to be a step up.
I feel like once you get to be like once you hit your like mid 50s or whatever, and you're just like an obese white man, it's pretty unlikely that you're not on pain pills because just like
what?
Well, no, because the stress of your body like weighing on itself means your joints are probably shit and your back probably hurts. Like, I mean, I'm in pretty good shape for 34, and even I'm starting to notice like nagging pains. I can't imagine being 20 years older and just like a fat, disgusting piece of shit. I mean, OxyContin would help a lot with that. Like, I'd probably feel a lot better if I was high as shit on OxyContin all the time.
Well, I mean, we know you'd feel bad. I mean, that's the point.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll be honest, that was a lot of fun. that might be what ultimately dooms Norse code. Like, yeah, we just felt like having fun. People didn't like that.
No, this is one of the most Norse codey episodes of Norse code that we've ever done.
Yeah, no, that's true. It is. It really is. We went back to our roots, really. That's
fine. It's not good for every week, but it's important to do every now and then. And I think at the end of the day, our core listenership like really appreciates it. It's like Logan Shin will go nuts over this episode.
Oh, that's true. He will. Probably buy another AeroPress because of this episode.
He might buy one just to send to you. frankly, just
yeah. I'll let you know if that, because that's a real possibility. I'll let you know if that happens.
I feel like Mike Zimmer right now. Like, I just did a shitty... I had my chance to represent for the AeroPress, and I just fell on my fucking face at every opportunity I had.
Yeah, well, I mean, you come at the best, you best not... Nah, really, you didn't come at me. I came at you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I had it so well planned, and then executed
what was in your plan that didn't involve getting derailed by snarkiness?
The getting derailed part was what really threw me.
You didn't plan for... I mean, you've known Rashad for how long?
I know, and this honestly was what used to kill me in debate, is that I would just get like lost in the details and then start trying to unpack like sentence by sentence, and then I could never get out of the hole. Like,
oh, so you're saying is that you should have been a policy debater
of the football season.
I think we're good.
I think I've added enough references to the movie The Rock. I feel like I hit the number that I told you I was trying to hit. So I think we're good.
You hit your own over-under, so we're good.
Yeah, I think I did.
Well, all right. Enjoy the big game, everyone. We will join you again this postseason with the beginning of the Draft-a-Palooza. Perhaps with a guest, perhaps not. But one way or another, we can promise you optimal digital multimedia content from the number one podcast for your Minnesota Vikings, Norse Code. So until then, our formula is this. Losers whine about their best. Winners go home and bone the prom queen. We'll see you next week.
Wow. What a finish. That was the strongest part of the show.
I'm so glad I muted myself there.
Did I get you?
Yeah, you got me. I have had such a shitty last like few nights of sleep where I'm like just about to crack, and that cracked me. That was oh my god, the tears. Okay. Well, thank you for going over on the references to The Rock.
But you missed like the ultimate, like that is the money quote from The Rock.
Yes,
And if not that, it's Nick Cage looking meaningfully into the camera and going, "Errol was the prom queen." Yeah. That moment has stuck with me ever since 1996. I've been quoting that movie ever since 8th grade.
Oh, we used to say it on the bus for debate. I remember Peter Metzger trying terribly to do a Sean Connery impression, and it
always whine about that bashed.
which just sounds like Bane now.
Oh my god, you're right.
It does.
Oh, that's too bad. It's too bad that the Sean Connery impressions have like merged into Bane impressions.
That's just me. I would have to practice, get some good differentiation, because it does. Like, I think about it and I'm like, you merely adopted the darkness. I was born it. It's pretty much the same.
It's the Kevin thing from earlier. Victory has defeated you.
Well, the best part is I know we're all imagining Bane Cat. I was wondering, breakfast.
Okay, so my favorite is that I'm imagining Bane saying all of these to Alex Trebek. I was wondering who would break first.
Your mind or your body?
Oh my god! All right.
For you.
For you. It's Celebrity Jeopardy with Bane and Sean Connery. If they could get into a shouting match, if Daryl Hammond and maybe Tom Hardy could get into a shouting match, that would be
amazing. I'd lose it.
That'd be right up there with if they could do a Celebrity Jeopardy with Mark Zuckerberg, Jesse Eisenberg, and then Andy Sandberg all just in a row. Like, that would be... They lost their opportunity because, what did it... Eisenberg did, right after Social Network, he hosted an episode of SNL, and I think Zuckerberg came on for that, and they had Sandberg on the stage at the same time. They should have saved that. They should have saved that for Celebrity Jeopardy.
There's no way that Mark Zuckerberg would let himself be on Celebrity Jeopardy if there was a possibility that he would be written to lose, which the writers would try to do.
No, that's true. Well, maybe you could do Jesse Eisenberg and Michael Cera.
Nah, not Jewish enough.
Not Jewish enough.
Well, I'm sorry, Dusty.
That's the whole point, is that all their names end in Berg.
No, that wasn't my point.
The point.
My point was they all look remarkably similar. And
yes, they all look alike, Dusty. The fact that they all end in Berg has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, anti-Semite.
Really? Nothing?
Well, I'm sure that would be worked into the show. But gee, seriously, Dusty. You'd probably just be a category. Names that end in Berg.
Actually,
what is Zuckerberg?
I was going to say, actually, if the three of them were up there and that was a category, that'd be pretty boss.
That'd be pretty great.
Yeah.
Norse Code is the official podcast of the Daily Norseman SB Nation blog and is produced with cooperation from Pompous Jerk Productions. Pompous Jerk Productions. Attitude with attitude. The opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of their contributors and do not reflect official positions of the Minnesota Vikings, SB Nation, the Daily Norseman staff, or PJP. No information in this podcast should be construed as gambling advice. Please obey all local gaming laws.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.